Hey there, viewers. Welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. That's a 1990. It's the F-150. It's got the big 5.0, and it's got a brake fluid loss. At least that's what the customer tells me. Brake fluid keeps going down, and it's not leaking anywhere. And it took a quick tool under it. It's a Southern truck of some sort, because obviously, 31 years old in New York State, or 32 years old rather. It's not from around here. I don't see any brake fluid leaking under it anywhere. It's not coming out of the wheel cylinders, calipers, nothing. So therefore, it can only be going one place, and that's down the booster. And sure as heck it is. Pulled the vacuum hose off the brake booster, stuck the zip tie in there, and now it's just about full. So I've got a new master cylinder for it, a new brake booster, and we're gonna get that put on. Or at least that's what we're gonna attempt to be doing. It hasn't made it to the point it's actually burning brake fluid in the engine yet. I have seen them way back in the day get to that point. Makes a lot of nice white smoke, so we're just going to move the vacuum hose here out of our way. We have the cruise control cable that cruises right across the top here, which, let's see, you have to deal with my squeaky Harbor Freight step stool here also. A couple lines, a couple bolts. I don't think this is going to be that big a job. Might have to have somebody come over and help us just hold some wires out of our way. So let's get a couple wrenches here. Get those lines off. One electrical connector here. We'll get that when we flip it over. Be a little easier. I'd move you so you could see, but just have to take my word for it here. We've got a 5/8 wrench. It's the American. Wipe the dust off that baby. Got that one cracked loose, and this one is a 7/16. Oh, now we need a bigger wrench here to hold whatever that is on that master cylinder. I think Harbor Freight makes the squeakiest step stool ever. So we're gonna hold it with a 7/8. We'll crack that line loose there. And then before I get these all the way loose, we'll get a pig mat or something to stick under here, because it's gonna drip a little bit. Keep it from making too big a mess, I guess. All right, try to keep from being big slobs anyways. No. Don't really have to worry about that. Not much coming out. And there's that one. Okay. So those two are loose. Just the two bolts. Once we get the master cylinder ready, there's only 4 bolts that holds the booster in, and it should be a pretty straightforward job. I think we'll have enough slack here. We might have to loosen up the cruise control module, if you will. Set that to the side. Little 9/16. This master cylinder doesn't look that old, so I'm kind of surprised. Well, I shouldn't say I'm surprised, it's just, I'm a little surprised. Get on that one, can we? There's 2 nuts on this side, one that holds the bracket, but they're all the same, so a couple 3/4 thread bolts there, 3/16s probably. I'll take the little bracket off, and then there's one more nut that holds the master cylinder itself on. Zip and zap that off there, just like so. There she is, leaking in all its glory. Of course, I don't see it petering right out of it right now. Let's get that connector unhooked. Get underneath it. There's that. Stick that baby to the side. So there's the bracket that I was telling you about that holds the brake lines on. You guys will see it if you're doing this yourself. If you're doing a DIY-er. Let's see, are we gonna have enough room? Yeah, maybe. Like I said, we're gonna kind of hold some of this stuff out of the way, I'm assuming. It's had a bunch of aftermarket wiring and crap going on over here. Brake lines are in great shape, so we don't have to worry about wiggling and moving them around. I'm gonna take and, just for the sake of not breaking the plastic cable here on the cruise, I'm just gonna take them 2 bolts out of it. I don't know if they're metric or not. They look like they'll be about 3/8. Let's just see. Wham, bam, nope, they're 10 mil. So right above your cruise servo here, a couple bolts. Go on, drop it. So there's those, and there's that whole little servo should just kind of, you don't have to disconnect it, just we want it loose. kind of hanging. Now I guess the rest of the stuff is up under the dash. And then we're gonna come out here and do some fidgeting to get it out of here. I'm gonna stick these bolts to the side and let's go under the dash and see what we need under there. Try to set it up where you guys can't see crap. Cause at the end of the day, I still need to get my big dome under here. So it looks like we have a clip. Let's see if we can't just get that by hand. Boom. So there's one clip. Holds that. It should be the brake light switch. And the lever there. We'll take the brake light switch off. We'll set that down here. The other switch up here, that's your cruise cancel switch way at the top. It's got the one vacuum line going to it. It's just a controlled vacuum leak. It's all it is, I guess. There's a little bushing. Goes in the rod. Stick that down like a so. And then 4 bolts, and they look like they're probably 9/16 would be my guess. So let me go grab that impact that we had with that swivel socket, get them babies unbolted. Okay, let's see if we were right. A lot of extra wiring under here. There's one. Yeah, baby. There's 2. There's 3. I want to drop them down behind the carpet, you know. And numero 40. That's weird. That one didn't go in the socket. It didn't seem like. Somebody put a different nut on that one. Top left. We'll have to remember that just in case it's done that way intentionally. Yeah, so that one's definitely a different bolt or a different nut. So I don't know if that was intentional or if that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't see any reason why it would be. But yeah, we should be done in here. We should be able to go out there and pull that booster off now. Get up on old Creaky here. It's a good old stool. Just a little noisy. Nope, that didn't help. Come on, baby. Yeah. We got it running at full boost. Gotta change the oil in your booster, lady. I told you guys there was some brake fluid in there. You thought I was lying. Gotta drain your cores before you send them back, you know? So yeah, so that's that. That's a problem. If you have brake fluid loss and you don't know where it is, this is potentially where it's going. You don't see it too often nowadays, but back when I was just a young boy, used to see it. Now I don't know, this thing's pretty well busted up. She's old. I don't think the new booster comes with this. We're gonna try to preserve a little bit of it anyways. Not 100% necessary, but very gingerly slip that off there. We'll take and transfer it onto our new booster here. And we can put the bellows back on it. Let's see, this should be the right way, right? Yeah, check bellows at the top. That baby is pointing down low. Probably kind of a waste to stick this back on, but we have our little rubber bellow that goes on here. And that's that. I guess we'll just slip her back in there now. Snug her up and start getting stuff put back together. Let's see. Get her lined up, kind of get some hoses and everything flipped around here, suck down here. You just don't want to pinch anything between the firewall and the booster. get the hoses or the holes all lined up. They're really tight and they go into tin, so it's gonna sound really terrible. You just kind of gotta work it. And that's just how boosters go. I wanna make sure nothing's pinched there. Nothing appears to be pinched. Our cruise servo is going to pick back up there, and everything's going to fit back where it was as nicely as it can, I guess. Things just kind of hang around and lay around there. Before we get too far out here, I'm going to go back inside, and we're going to bolt them 4 bolts back down, pull her back in. Probably peek back here with a mirror. I don't think there was anything back there. We just have that. Whoa! Almost fell down. Man down. We just have this one big vacuum hose here, which really can't get pinched. I'm just going to kind of try to stick that up at the top just while we tighten it up. Kind of just make sure it's out of the way. I think we're okay. I am going to look though, because there's a lot of aftermarket wiring and junk they've got running back there, just to be on the safe side, and we'll snug her up. I do believe we are safe. Oops, just knocked this cup holder off. I'll get the rod here on the right side. Pointing in the right direction, that's good. Okie dokie. Put on these nuts. Oh man. Whew. And now we got the one oddball here. We'll stick that back up where we found it. In the upper left-hand corner. Let's see if we can find a torque wrench. Got it. Oh, I left it right here. Hey there, fella. Give me back. Can I see you? No, we gotta get a different socket for that one, boys. We're gonna come at that one with a 15 mil. Because she's just a whisker bigger than the 9/16. Couple huggy-duggies on that guy. Shake that back off. That's kind of odd. I wonder how we got it loose the first try. Must be just good juju. So we're gonna pop this back off. Stick the bushing, little plastic bushing. Move that out of the way. Stick that in there like so. Pull our pedal back up. Slip it on. We'll slip our brake light switch back in here. See if I can do it one-handed. Nope, I can't. Let me move you for a second, folks. Where's the clips right here? So brake light switch is back on. You got to have the bushing just right to get the brake light switch on. You got to make sure the bushing stays in the control rod here for the booster, and then your brake light switch is just on the metal shaft itself. And now we've got to stick this funny looking clip back in here. If we can get her, she'll be able to just push. Push, push, push. There it is. She's all hooked up, man. Not too bad. We'll just put our cruise servo back up here. Kind of get this hanging back where it was. This was a simpler time, boys. Simpler time. Back where men were men and women were women. Son of a... And you still lost your 10 millimeter. Way down to the land of the unknown. Ha! I think I got her, boys. There it is, 10mm fishing. IRL. Seemed like some ding dong would change the lock on this freaking impact case. All right, there. Woo! Okay. Gonna run our hoses back around there. Little clamp that's holding everything together, just kind of give her a bit of a squeeze, I guess. We had to go down to the Wilberts You Pull at a Bath to get a bushing for the clutch pedal on this thing that holds the rod on for the clutch master. That was MIA, and I just happened to look under there and see that it was gone the other day when I was checking this out, and I was like, man, if it's a young boy that drives this thing, I said, that'd really scare the snot out of him if you come around a corner or come up to a stop sign, go push the clutch in and rod pops off or something. That would kind of suck. Wouldn't be a good day, would it? And I guess that would kind of, I don't know if that's how that run from the factory, probably not. It'll at least keep it up out of his way. Take this off. What's that say? Warranty void if check valve is removed. Ooh, do not remove under the penalty of law. Well, let's see. Let's get a pair of pliers. We can take that one off. I tell you something. These pliers here. I'm not much of a tool guy. I mean, I am a little bit of a tool guy. I got lots of tools, but usually pliers don't really turn my crank, so to speak. But these pliers here from Snap-on, I think I'm in love. I am grabbing them suckers all the time. I just really like them. A simple set of slip joint needle nose pliers. They just seem like super handy, and I'm using them continually. And they are super handy. They work great on hose clamps and all different types of stuff. They got just really good power. I don't know. I'm not a big Snap-on fanboy or anything by any means, but definitely like those suckers. What's this say? Failure to replace a leaking master cylinder will void booster warranty. Rod may require adjustment in some cases for installation instruction for damage and cords returned. Okay. Excellent. Well, let's bleed out our master cylinder, stick it on here and see if we get lucky. Sometimes you can just bleed them right here at the lines and you don't have to touch anything else. That's when you know you're really lucky and everything's good. First we'll stick that back in here so we can send it back to the know-how. Boom, there's your number on that if you need it. Your classic 54 74 210 from Napper. Not a sponsor, of course. I think probably Cardone would be my guess. Made in Mexico, it said. What's up, Mrs. O?
Got the sticker.
Ooh, for what?
Because it reminds me of you.
Darn tough. Sick. I put that in my toolbox. I got some room for it right over here.
Ooh.
Got our master cylinder. Gosh, I should have tried to open that first, I guess. Mother of pearl. Pussy. We're gonna fill that baby up with some brake fluid here. The classic .4. You can go up from 3 to 4, but you can't go down. Just has a little bit higher boiling point. And then we're gonna bench bleed it best we can. Then we'll stick it on there and we'll bleed it out at the fittings and see if we have to go bleed out the whole system. The brakes worked well on the truck other than, you know, the continual loss of fluid. And I actually happen to have an actual brake bleeding tool for bench bleeding master cylinders. I don't even remember. I bought this thing many moons ago. It's something that sits in a toolbox that you rarely use. You can use a screwdriver just as well. This just makes you feel fancy, I guess. I'm just gonna give her a few pumps here. Start to get the fluid flowing. Take these right out, I guess. Sometimes it takes a minute to get it going. Just kind of hold your finger there, let it build some suction as it pulls fluid in. There we go. Now I can feel it. Starting to get a little bit of pressure. Now we can use the nuts. We'll stick them back on there. Now these don't seal perfect, but it'll at least get us started here. Then we'll do the rear half. If you don't bench bleed these, you'll have a hell of a time getting all the wheels bled out on the vehicle. Try to get as much air out of the master cylinder as you can before you put it on. Otherwise, like I say, you'll be at it for quite a while. You'll just end up filling the whole system full of air. Let me go grab a pair of pliers here. Like I say, these don't seal perfect, but it'll get you really close. So I'm just going to kind of keep pushing, just steady pressure on it here. And you'll be able to tell, I mean, if it starts spitting air out there, it looks like pretty steady fluid. Let the pedal go all the way down. A little bit of air coming out of that back one. And then before you let the pedal back up or pull your screwdriver out, we'll just snug these up. Let it rest a second, make sure it's pulling fluid in. You can tell the pedal's pretty stiff now. Feels pretty good to me. I think it's a good place to start. I think we're out of fluid too, right? Yes, sir. We'll go get some more brake fluid. We can get this put on in the meantime. Literally just tell you guys, hey, I'm not a big tool guy. Whips out a tool only made for bleeding master cylinders on the bench. Yeah, now they believe you. There, fella. Well, you better be the right connector after all that. Okay, it is. Let's get this tightened back down on here. Pull this vacuum line up out of there. Snug that up. Give it a couple snug-a-duggas here. I'll try to get this done. I've got an appointment I've got to be at just a little while. So we'll try to get it done. If not, we'll have to finish it up tomorrow. I got out of my way. Okay, now we just got to put the bracket back on, but prior to doing that, I'm going to stick our diaper back under here, and we'll hook up our brake lines one at a time and leave this bracket loose while we're doing that, in case we got to fidget with them at all. We'll go like that. We'll get this front one first. And then I'll show you how we can potentially bleed it right here at the line. Now, this only works if your brakes are already working really well to begin with, and then you have to use your judgment after that. I mean, you could have a little bit of air in them still, but sometimes you get lucky. got that one started. Remove the plug from the back. If I got the camera set, yeah, I got it just right so you guys can't see anything good. That's how I know I'm doing a good job. Just hooking up a couple lines anyways. Not rocket surgery here. When it comes time to bleed it, I'll show you. All right, and that one's started. I'm gonna take and snug those up. Got our 5/8 and 7/16 right here. You don't have to crush them, you know, don't kill them right now. We just want to get them where they're tight. Okay, there's that one. We'll do this one, and then I'm gonna put the other nut back on that bracket here that holds the lines in place. Then we're gonna fill it up full of fluid and see if we can get away bleeding it right here at the line. Apparently I'm out of quarts, so we're gonna have to use the jug. Usually we use this for filling the power bleeder. So we're gonna fill it up because it doesn't matter if it comes out of a quarter or out of a gallon. All right, that baby's full. Let's go get a helper. You're a designated helper, Miss O.
Oh.
You wanna hop in that little fella? We're gonna be bleeding the brakes. It's the middle pedal. See, it's a 3-pedal job, you okay?
Old fashioned.
Oh, it is old fashioned. Okay, are you in there, Miss O?
Yeah.
Okie dokie, what we're gonna need is this right here. All right, go ahead and push down on the brakes. Okay, let up. I'm just letting that spill onto my diaper. I'm filling my diaper. Okay, push down. Is the pedal dropping, Vanessa? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, up. Okay. Give me this second here. Okay, go ahead and push down. Pedal should have felt pretty decent there.
Yeah.
Okay, up. Try to avoid, if you guys are bleeding brakes, try to avoid having somebody get in there and just keep pumping the pedal where they're like pump, 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 and then hold. Because what that does, if you have air in the system, it whips up the brake fluid, fills the brake fluid full of air, and you will be bleeding until the end of your life to try to get all the air out. So single push is what you do. Okay, you ready? Push down. Probably not dropping as quickly there, is it?
Right.
So we can see the fluid coming out. It's nice and clear. Not getting any air. Okay, let up. And people are questioning, you know, how am I getting the air out of the line, you know, on this little bit here where it spilled out. Well, the fact is when we bleed and we close it, when she lets off the pedal and it pulls the fluid back through, if there's any air trapped here, usually it comes out. And then on our next pedal push, we always get it, which we've already done a couple of. How does the pedal feel? Is it stiff?
I mean, there's a
little bit of play at the top, but
yeah.
Okay, yep, and then it's pretty stiff. Okay, all right, so that's good, Miss O. We appreciate you, as always. So let's blast this off with some of the good stuff, and put this truck on a rip here. We probably should hit this booster with some fluid film because all they put on it is some kind of packing oil stuff. And I believe this young man's going to be driving this truck in the wintertime now, so hope he enjoyed it while he had it. Because these old Fords will disappear pretty much overnight in the Northeast. Well, that's it. That can's empty. I'm going to let it dry off. I'm going to give it some fluid film. I'm probably going to wait until I'm 100% done with it, though, to be honest with you. Let's go for a rip there, bud. Okay, let's try to do this thing. Up here. Here we go. Oh, parking brakes on. Oh, yeah, that pedal feels pretty good. here reminds me of my dad's old tow truck. We had a tow truck, had the same interior as an F Super Duty, but big 6.9 liter. Yeah, you guys gotta tip over here. Hold on, I'm gonna have to shift. There we go. I can hold it. Ah, classic. Not a big Ford guy. I always admired this body style though. If I was gonna have a Ford, it would be a Ford like this. Oh, better check the brakes. Ooh. We got some brake action. We have to turn you off here because we're gonna have to do some shifting and driving. Well, that's it, folks. Seems to run, drive good. Of course, didn't have a run problem anyway. Seems to stop well. We'll say that without the pedal going down to the floor and without all the fluid going into the booster. So if you're losing fluid and you don't see it leaking under the vehicle, you know, take that check valve out, stick a zip tie way down in there, you know, or something non-metallic. I guess you don't want to go jamming a hole in the diaphragm if it's good, but we use a long zip tie, stick it in there and pull it out and see if it has fluid on it. Shouldn't be anything in there other than vacuum. So that's it, pretty easy job, man. Old truck, kind of fun to work on, fun to drive, and kind of gives you a break from the crap we have to do today. So why don't you guys take a break from the crap you have to do today and go in that comment section, the questions, the concerns, the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know what to do. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.